Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take another look at that there Sojourner. Sojourner is one of my favourite cards that we saw from the base Sword and Shield set. And we've previously seen it as a little bit of a tanky deck played along with Indeedee. Because you've got an attack that does 40 damage and reduces damage done to you by 20. And then you sit there and heal with Indeedee while doing a bit of tanking. And you end up with a rather nice, tanky, fun deck. This is not that deck, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very different kind of deck. Let's have a look, shall we? Now, it is very much still built around Sojourner and Sojourner V Max, so that seems like a fairly sensible place to start. So what we see here is Sojourner, again, like I said a second ago, the real hook of Sojourner is the attack that for a single fighting energy on a basic Pokemon, so it's a very quick attack, does 40 damage and reduces damage done to it next turn by 20. Cool. Sits there and does a little bit of tanking, that is good. Free energy 150 is nice, we can make it work, we'll get there in a moment. When we VMAX it and end up with Sojourner VMAX, we end up with 330 HP, which is gigantic, although you do give up free prizes. It's weird that it's 220 for 2 prizes, 330 for 3 prizes, works very nicely. And it's got another single energy attack that lets you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon and heal 120 from that Pokemon. If you're going a bit of a prize denial route, this could work. And then we've got free energy 200, so we've got a little bit of a boost on that attack as well. It is a good Pokemon, but what we've generally found so far with Sojourner is that it doesn't work as a quad deck. We need something a little bit more. And that's fine, we've got other stuff here, we had other stuff in the other video, the other deck we looked at, but we need a little bit something more. And the main more thing we see here is Cinccino. Cinccino is the 4/4 line, it's the most common Pokemon in the deck, other than Minccino from which it evolves. It's got the ridiculous make-do ability, lets you discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards, that's quite nice. And then it's got the awesome Energy Assist attack, 1 colourless energy, 40 damage, and attach a basic energy from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon. So this can be used as a little bit of energy acceleration. Now the thing that worries me slightly here is that you've got to put an energy on to do this, and if you only get 1 turn of energy acceleration, then you put an energy on Cinccino, attack to do 40 damage and accelerate an energy, but you've got to put that energy in the first place on the previous thing. So it's alright, but it's not exactly phenomenal. Nice for energy acceleration, but you've got to be careful you're not just doing 40 damage and giving up a prize when you could have put the energy where you wanted it in the first place. Something to bear in mind. Now, outside of that, we also play Garchomp and Giratina. Now, Garchomp and Giratina is the other part of the deck, so to speak. This is the thing that really sets it apart from the other deck we looked at. 1 energy, 40 damage to anywhere on the field. That's quite nice. And then 1 psychic, 1 fighting, 1 colourless, 160 damage. If there's any damage on them already, 80 more damage. Now, if you're just going to put free energy on, you might as well attack with Sojourner, because either you're doing free energy 150 on a 2-prize Pokemon, or free energy 200. But if you can get a damaged Pokemon anyway, then Chomptina does become the better attacker. It has got a GX attack that discards one of your opponent's Pokemon and all cards attached to it, or with an extra free energy, but then you're 4 fighting, 2 psychic, which is a bit silly. You get to discard 2 instead. It's a nice attack. I mean, if your opponent's only got 1 Pokemon out, this will discard them and win you the game. But it's not the amazing attack we might otherwise hope for. Alright, not stunning. Certainly, all these Pokemon get a bit better if you can have a turn or 2 in the early game to accelerate energy with Cinccino. If your opponent has a fast start such that using Cinccino is akin to giving up a prize, that does change things around quite a bit. Now, the other thing we see here is the Landorus from Unbroken Bonds. And we play it Well, for Garchomp and Giratina. Basic Pokemon, single fighting energy, 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Remember, in order to get Garchomp and Giratina working at its maximum efficiency, we really do need to be taking advantage here of damaged Pokemon. That's how it works best. So get them damaged. Landorus and Garchomp and Giratina are both basic Pokemon, single energy, deal some damage. Oh, I mean, it can do 60 damage for 2 energy and then move an energy to the bench. It's not why we're using it. It's for the sniping attack. And while we're spreading damage around and trying to do a little bit of sniping, this might be a good time to reintroduce you to one of the Mimikyu from Cosmic Eclipse. Not the one with impersonation, the one with the ability that turns off abilities on Pokemon GX that have any damage on them. So you hit them with Landorus or Garchomp and Giratina, and then all of a sudden they have no ability. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Sounds like fun. And then finally, we do see just a Diancie Prism Star. It means that all of your fighting Pokemon do an extra 20 damage. That's good. It's no good for Garchomp and Giratina, but it's very good for Sojourner here. Nice. Now, in terms of energy, obviously we're playing fighting energy. It's a largely fighting deck. But we are playing around with psychic energy here, so we're playing Aurora energy. Discard a card from your hand, and then it is just any energy. It's got to be done. It's the only way you're paying the psychic cost. Aurora energy becomes really good here. In terms of your supporter line, we're playing Cynthia because it's the best shuffle draw in the game. Cynthia is a phenomenal card. Phenomenal. Well, it's just one of the best cards we've got, to be honest with you. We also play a couple of Tate and Liza. It's a shuffle draw to 5 rather than 6, but it can also be a switch and you've got some high retreat Pokemon, so that sounds about right. And we've got a couple copies of Judge, because Judge will put your opponent down to a 4-card hand. There is a strong argument here to play Marnie instead that gives you a 5-card hand, but you shuffle cards into your deck with Marnie, so Judge can be quite nice if you want to make sure you don't draw back into what you just put in your deck. If you're playing Judge Whistle, then Judge becomes a really good option, but I cannot see any Judge Whistle in this deck list. And then we've got one copy of Mallow and Lana. Mallow and Lana is a switch where you also heal 120. It's great, especially in a deck like this where you want to get a bunch of healing done, because you're giving up lots of prizes. In terms of Pokemon Search, we play Quick Ball to grab our basics. We play Pokemon Communication to grab, well, it swaps a Pokemon in your hand with a Pokemon in your deck, so it can grab anything. And since it's out again now, we actually play Great Ball that gets you any Pokemon from the top 7 cards of your deck. Certainly in decks that play Pokemon Communication, it becomes a lot better. We play Switch because, as previously mentioned, we got lots of high retreat Pokemon. We play a single copy of Karate Belt. If you're behind on prizes, it reduces your attack cost by 1 fighting energy, and it works for Sojourner and Sojourner VMAX and Garchomp and Giratina. It reduces by 1 fighting energy. It doesn't matter whether it's a fighting Pokemon or not, so it becomes really good here. And while we're talking fighting tricks, Martial Arts Dojo does an extra 10 damage if you've got a basic fighting energy attached, 40 if you're behind on prizes, and again, that is not dependent on you being a fighting Pokemon, just having a basic fighting energy attached. So that's quite nice. We then play a couple copies of Big Charm that gives you an extra 30 HP. And again, it's just we've got big Pokemon, and we're giving up lots of prizes when we get KO'd, and we've got some healing, so we might as well play this to try and keep ourselves alive a bit longer. And we go a little bit deeper on the gusting than we usually would. We play 4 Custom Catcher, play 2 at the same time and you drag any Pokemon into the active, and we play a couple of Pokemon Catcher that again will drag anything in the active, but it is on a coin flip. Neither of them are perfect. Custom Catchers 2 at the same time, Pokemon Catchers on a coin flip. But you know what? It's the best we've got if you want to gust anything up. Though worth pointing out, this deck list was before Rebellion Crash was out, so nowadays you may wish to play Boss's Orders as a gusting supporter card. It's a fun deck. It's a very fun deck. I worry that it's a little bit too slow in terms of spreading damage around using attacks, and I've got the same worry with Sojourner that I've had since it was revealed. Good card, powerful card, good at tanking, good damage. If you come against something that can one-hit KO you, it's kind of terrifying. But make no mistake about it, this is a very fun deck with a lot of potential, and I think this could be really good. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned good regardless. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.